Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Hello everyone, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Gobind and this is your Channel for Grace. Thank you guys so much for being here live, and thank you to those of you that are watching the replay. Welcome to all the new subscribers. We have officially made it to 4,000 subscribers, so I'm really excited about that. If you are new, thank you again for being here, and let us know in the chat, especially if you're here live. This is a beautiful community, and in the chat we really love to support each other and lift each other up. So let's say hi to everybody that's actually here right now. We've got Abby, welcome in. Melanie, welcome in. Veronica, how's it going? Hello, Wendy. Hello, Alexandra and Valerie. Shannon. Hello, Belinda. Hello, Kim. Thank you for being here, guys. And I'm excited to talk about this full moon that is happening tomorrow in the sign of Aquarius. It is the first of two moons that are happening, two full moons that are happening in this sign for the season of Leo, while the sun transits the sign of Leo. And today, the sun has now officially entered into Leo. It is at 0 degrees of Leo. It's actually exactly conjunct my moon. So I've been feeling very strong Leo energy today. Hello, Melissa. Welcome in. What I'm going to talk about in this video is the astrology of this moon specifically, and also go through and tell you where it's affecting you in your chart based off of mostly your rising sign, but the channeled energies can definitely be explored for your sun, moon, and Venus as well. So before we hop into, which I should probably start getting it ready, the chart so you guys can see it. Before we hop into that, I do want to remind you guys to make sure to give this video a thumbs up. If you're new, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and make sure you download my free moon astrology guide, which will tell you what your psychic gifts are based off of your moon sign. It'll also enter you into my email list, and I send out a weekly moon magic report, or basically the horoscope for the week. And people really love that because it is an opportunity for you to see what are the energies that are coming up and how they're going to affect you, and like how to plan your week based off of the astrology. It's actually really cool. I do starseed readings, astrology readings, all that good stuff. And you can book readings on my website, and there's always descriptions of everything that I talk about and everything that I share on in the description of the video. Tomorrow, I'm going to put my hair up. Tomorrow, I'm actually going to be releasing, so on the full moon, my starseed, my essential oil starseed blends. I'm going to be releasing them on my Etsy shop, and I'm really excited about that. So if you're on the email list, you're going to get an email letting you know that that is happening and is available. And let's see, what else? I think that's good for now. There's a really epic deal going on with doTERRA. And if you're interested in essential oils and that whole thing, check out the description. I put a link in there. It's like a buy one, get one free sale. So check that out if you're interested. And if you have questions, you can always send me an email, channelforgrace.guru. Hello, Tamika. Welcome in. And thank you, Wendy, and thank you to all the moderators for being here. So I believe we're looking at the chart of this full moon. And where you can tell that it's a full moon that is happening is by looking at the opposition between the sun and the moon. So the sun is over here, the moon is over here, and they're on opposite ends of the spectrum. The sun is at 1 degree. This is happening tomorrow. So this is the chart for tomorrow. The sun is at 1 degree of Leo, 26 minutes. I know I can't either, Shannon. Mine. Oh, yours is arriving tomorrow? What? Yours arrived so much faster than mine. And the moon is at 1 degree of Aquarius, 26 minutes. It's actually it's kind of sandwiched in between the planet Pluto and the planet Saturn. And those two planets, it's kind of a difficult energy for the moon to transit through Pluto and to transit through Saturn, because Pluto makes things more volatile and Saturn restricts our like feminine emotional expression. So anyways, I just wanted to mention that that's actually a big part of this moon, is the fact that it's right there on that, right in between those two planets. But what moon in Aquarius, generally means it is innovation. In Aquarius, right? It is mind activation. It is heightened intellectual abilities. It's also humanitarian issues. It also has to do with the people in general. Friends, sharing your gifts with the world, revolution, ruled by the planet Uranus. So we have to take a look at what Uranus is doing as well during this moon, and he's over here in the sign of Taurus. And although he's not exactly squaring this specific moon, when the moon continues to transit through the sign of Aquarius, it will, soon after the full moon, it will square Uranus. And that is a challenge that shows up that needs to be resolved. That's the energy of a square in general. But Uranus is the awakener. So a full moon in Aquarius awakens us to a higher perspective, awakens us to see things from above, like the eagle. And there's something really significant about the eagle when it comes to this specific full moon. The nodes are going to officially be on Aldebaran and Antares during this full moon, and it is the first moon that is in this position. So let's take a look at the nodes. So we've got North Node over here at 9 degrees of Gemini. Hello, Joan. We've got South Node over here at 9 degrees of Sag. Of course, the nodes, again, are always opposing as well. These are the two oppositions. But what I'm pointing is the 9 degrees. So at 9 degrees of Gemini is a star called Aldebaran. And that is the star known as the Eye of the Bull. It's in the Taurus constellation. It's also the eye of revelation, the eye of Horus, the eye of Ra. What it activates is the energy of channeling truth and channeling information, connects to Archangel Michael. So the archangel, which is the most important of the archangels, the closest to God, almost like the leader, right, of the archangels is Aldebaran. But the eye of the bull, or the eye of Ra, is the all-seeing eye. So this is about revelations. It's significant that this is the first moon energy, meaning new or full moon, that is occurring while the nodes have finally officially arrived in this energy, like exactly on that degree. On the other end of the spectrum, you've got the south node on a star called Antares. And Antares is known as the heart of the Scorpion. It's on the Scorpion constellation. I remember when I was in Sedona, every time I looked out my window, for some reason, the whole time I was there, like for 6 months, straight out the window was the constellation of the Scorpion. And it's huge. Like, it's huge when you look up at the sky. And it was just like so powerful. And what the Scorpion represents is death, change, and transformation. And being exactly on Antares, the south node, is inviting us to not only see the raw truth, because the heart of the Scorpion is raw truth. It is sometimes the truth that you don't really want to see. It's also like, think about what the Scorpion represents, or what that energy of the Scorpion represents. And Scorpions like to hide, and they also sting, and they also get very, like in their shadow energy, they get defensive, but they get like, they shut themselves out, or they go hide under their little rock, and they're not vulnerable. Like, they don't open up. So that's the shadow expression of this energy. But when you look at the qualities of, or one of the royal fixed stars, you think this is raw truth that's coming through and being channeled through right now for this moon, which means that every message that comes through from all the aspects that go on at the exact moment that the moon is opposing the sun and we have this full moon, they're getting magnified by the fact that the north node is on Aldebaran and the south node is on Antares. They're both truth energies. So revelations, right? Another powerful, significant thing of this full moon in Aquarius is that it is the first of 2 moons that are going to happen in Leo season. We start the month with a full moon in Aquarius at 1 degree, and I believe we end. I'm trying to remember exactly what the degree is. I think it's 29. We end the month with a full moon at 29 of Aquarius. So the entire spectrum of Aquarius gets aspected during this month, and the Leo season is sandwiched between these 2 moons. So it's like this theme now is going to stay with you for the whole season. This is something that I talked about in my individual readings that I've been putting out. I just put out Sagittarius and Gemini right before this I went live. And tomorrow I'm going to be uploading Capricorn and Cancer, and that will be the whole zodiac wheel complete. So make sure you guys go check out your video, because I talk about all of this stuff. This is already moving into Leo season. But what happened, the reason why we're having 2 full moons in Aquarius, it is because in 2020, we had 2 new moons in Cancer. One of them was a solar eclipse, and the other one was just a regular new moon. And it happened very similar to this. The first one I think it was the solar eclipse I think it was at 0 degrees of Cancer. And then the new moon was at 28 degrees, I believe. So it was very similar to this. And it threw us into this cycle that felt like it was a backwards energy, or I like to describe it as an alternate reality. We've literally been in this alternate reality since 2020, since the summer season of 2020, where we've seen the energy of a full moon arrive before the energy of the new moon arrives. So it's like the intensity of the emotions that a full moon brings in before you get to set your intentions. You feel like the culmination energy. It's a very strange thing. But now with these 2 full moons in Aquarius, it will switch back to seeing the full moon. For every season, we're going to see the new moon happening in the sign where the sun is at, and then the full moon 2 weeks later in the opposite sign. So that is what we would, quote unquote, I would call a normal cycle of the moon during a season, an astrological season. So this is a reset where this is the month that is a powerful reset. And then when you think of what Aquarius represents, Aquarius is revolution, change, higher consciousness, awareness, intellectual abilities, the people, your friends, individuality, your uniqueness. All of those things are, this is a theme for the whole month. Hello, Jennifer. Welcome in. And so that's what's going on. The next full moon in Aquarius is going to be at 29 degrees, which is the last degree of Aquarius. So it's going to literally be the full cycle. We're going to feel that full sort of mature energy of Aquarius, and which means that the sun, because the sun is going to be opposing it at 29 degrees of Leo, the sun is going to be on Regulus. And that's a big deal because the sun in the sign of Leo is very strong. And on Regulus, which is the star at the heart of the lion, it even gets stronger that's the other royal fixed star that's being activated right now during this time. And you'll see it also, you'll see the vibe of like the Regulus, the king of the jungle, the lion, during the Lion's Gate, which is on August 8th, which will be exactly on the day of the new moon in Leo for this season. So Regulus is the star of healing, Archangel Raphael, and he's the angel of healing. So that's going to be a very beautiful at the end of the month, is to like feel that full like healing energy that will arrive. So that's why this is significant. Here's another thing why this is significant. At 1 degree of Aquarius is a star called Altair. And Altair is known as the constellation of the Eagle, or is on the constellation of the Eagle, and is known as the neck of the eagle, which is the essential point of purity for the vulture or the flying grip. I'm going to actually read to you from the Fixed Stars in the Chart book about the eagle, so you really understand what this energy is about. And then we'll talk about what the eagle represents in a lot of native cultures throughout the world. So the eagle is Jupiter in mythology. This is the story, right? The mythological story of the eagle constellation. This is Jupiter, who, in the shape of an eagle, swoops down to take up Ganymede, the most beautiful among the mortals, to the divine Olympian world. Ganymede has been working with all of his powers on his purification, and so he receives the grace from the gods. This constellation was called the Flying Grip, and vultures were always seen as holy birds. Although they put their heads into rotting meat, they stay pure. The dirty earthliness does not stick to them. An eagle is able to look directly into the sun, which is the symbol of truth and unity. And this is the real intellect, a direct connection with the source of truth. The main star in the eagle constellation is Altair, in the neck of the eagle, the essential point of purity for the vulture, and it gives powerful aspirations, mostly spiritually. The danger is spiritual arrogance, looking down on the common people who have no idea of higher knowledge with disdain. So this is a very, very interesting energy. I'm gonna continue reading because I think this is actually very interesting because it talks about the scorpion. This is the shadow. The eagle is also the nasty scorpion transformed and the symbol of Saint John. Well, the eagle, I mean, it's not the shadow. It's the eagle represents the transformation from the energy of the scorpion, the transmuted, like when you rise like the phoenix, the scorpion becomes the eagle. So, and it also represents the symbol of Saint John, the mystical evangelist. And a second star of importance in this constellation is Deneb Okab, which is the eagle's tail, which is like the direction. But the theme of this constellation, so the theme of this moon, because we have to attach this to this moon, is how Leo season begins. Fruitful spiritual aspiration, strong, fiery dedication, higher knowledge, purity, literally upward movements, and in the shadow expression, the danger of spiritual arrogance and disdain. So that's the spectrum. You can either literally fly up with the eagle towards the heavens, and in many, many native cultures, the eagle, as well as the condor, it talks about the eagle and the condor here, is the most spiritual of the birds because they could fly to the sun, and the sun represents God or the divine. So this being on the star Altair is about lifting us up and flying high like the eagle, getting that eagle eye view so that you can see everything that's going on from a different perspective. And like I mentioned in the beginning, this moon is in a wide orb conjunction between Pluto and Saturn, which means the energy of Pluto, which is the transformer, the transmuter, and Saturn, which is the authority, the restrictor. They're both like kind of, I feel them as like Saturn is like the Grim Reaper, right? A little bit. And Pluto is the power, but he's also the control. Pluto is the control. Saturn is like the sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not coming, but it doesn't matter. Both of these energies are like very intense. And we have seen Saturn and Pluto in some pretty crazy aspects to each other and to other planets for the last, year and a half. And so that's what we're up against. That's what the people are up against. It's the power and the things that we feel like we can't control. So we need to focus on the things that we can control, which is like our own minds. Hello, Rebecca, and hello, Marcus, and hello, Nelvin. Welcome in. So that's specifically with the moon. There's other aspects that are going to be going on with this moon. Venus is going to be making an opposition to Jupiter. I think that's a positive thing, even though it's an opposition, because these are the two benefics. So they're inviting us to have fun and celebrate and focus on the positive, but not get carried away. That's the warning. Do not get carried away. Mercury is going to be making a trine to Neptune. There's Neptune and there is Mercury, and they're making a trine, and this is in water signs. So Mercury is the mind and communication. He's still in the sign of Cancer, which means it's emotional communication, feeling into how, like, you have to check in with your feelings before you can make decisions. And Neptune in Pisces is straight up strong intuition and psychic powers. So this is an aspect that is going to heighten our intuition. We're also going to see a yod pointing at Mars. So a yod is two quincunxes that are formed from a sextile, and this involves Neptune and Pluto. and the yod points towards Mars. And we call it the finger of God, or the finger of the goddess, because it points to what we need to focus on. And when you look at Mars at 26 degrees of Leo, he's actually very close to Regulus. So is Venus, is only a couple of degrees from Regulus. Mars is also very close to Regulus. So it's pointing at the heart of the lion. It's pointing at Archangel Raphael. It's pointing at the angel of healing. It's pointing at healing in general, healing vibes. So this is it. This is healing. So and it's Mars, which is our drive. We're going to feel driven to heal ourselves on this spiritual journey, which is this powerful full moon that is going to give us a higher perspective. There's also going to be a trine from the moon to Vesta. So we've got moon over here at 1 degree. We've got Vesta over here at 2 degrees. That's a trine. We've got Ceres. So Vesta is the keeper of the sacred flame. She's in Libra right now. Ceres is the nurturing mother. She's actually on Algol on the Pleiades. They're both trining. They're all trining each other. So this is a grand trine. And because Ceres is so close to air, it's pretty much a grand trine in air, which activates our intuition. But the keeper of the sacred flame in the sign of Libra is about what holds us together is harmony and balance. What holds us together is the celestial Venus. Venus meaning the sign, Libra, and the rulership of Libra, which is Venus. Venus right now is actually in Virgo. She just entered Virgo. But she's going to soon, halfway through the month, enter the sign of Libra and be in her dignity. So what holds us together right now, what is the most passionate thing that comes through us, is unity, love, working together, collaboration, what is beautiful, things that are beautiful, harmony, balance, all of those things is what Vesta is pointing to. Ceres on Algol and on the beginning of the Pleiades is about the activation of the triple goddess, the maiden, the mother, the crone, the whole spectrum, the Trinity, right? Father, Son, Holy Spirit, the full connection, body, mind, spirit. All of those things they're all related, the Trinity, right? And Algol is what that represents. Sacred, powerful, sacred energy. And the Pleiades is about having fun, being joyful, the pleasure of life, creativity, and passion. So this grand trine, so beautiful and so powerful, between many, many sacred feminine energies. The moon is feminine, Vesta is the asteroid, she's feminine, and Ceres is also a feminine energy. So I feel the activation of the sacred feminine coming through very strongly during this full moon. And then the other thing that I saw that was so significant is that there's a lot of planets at the early degrees, like at 1 degrees or 2 degrees. So I'll point them out. The moon is so talk about numerology, right? The moon is at 1 degree of Aquarius. White moon Selena is at 1 degree of Capricorn. Vesta is at 2 degrees of Libra. Venus is at 2 degrees of Virgo. The sun is at 1 degree of Leo. And then Jupiter is at 0 degrees of Pisces. So you've got 0, 1, 2. This is all, hey babe, this is all birth energy. This is the first decan where it's heavy energy of each of these signs. So Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, Libra, Virgo, and Leo. But it's a birth energy. It's a lot of planets in the early degrees. It means that this is a journey that is new to us. I don't think we've ever gone on a spiritual journey like this, right? Think about the eagle. The eagle flies to the sun. We're on the eagle. We start Leo season by getting on the animal that flies the closest to God. Jupiter energy. Like upward movements. The eagle is going to show us from way above what's really going on. And then from within our everyday life is our job to arrange things, to fix things, to make sure at the physical level, because the eagle is like the higher chakras, the higher centers, but we need to make sure that at the physical level, we are doing everything that we can to channel those light codes that come through the energy of the eagle and the condor through our physical body or our physical vehicle, where we can make things into reality. We can think of something in our minds and then a little while later it's real. You know what I mean? By the way, I'm going to just spray on some Andromeda Aura Mist, which will be available for purchase tomorrow. All of them. I'm making Aura Mists and rollers. I'm actually going to put on Orion. Dude, these are phenomenal oil blends. They all smell amazing and they're all very unique. And I think that only one oil was used for two of these. Everything else is like unique and different, like not even similar at all. Anyways, I just went on a little tangent because obviously the Orion star season, the Andromedas are coming through right now because those are the two I was drawn to. Orion being about the intellect and Andromeda being about liberating ourselves from material bonds. So through channeling beauty and truth in the physical, like receiving it, grabbing it from the divine and channeling here in the physical. So there we go. What I want to do now, my favorite part, is to look at the degrees, the Chandra symbols, and the Sabian symbols. These are the books that I use to do that. And this really gives so much more meaning to these degrees and to the energies of these stars. So let's take a look first at the Sabian symbol. So we need to look at 1 degree of Aquarius. I'm going to find it. There's another thing that so I was just reminded to talk about this. Do you remember when Saturn and Jupiter conjuncted in Aquarius on the solstice of 2020, December 21st, 2020, we had a conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter in the sign of Aquarius at 0 degrees. Well, this moon is activating that portal. So within the 20-year cycle, that is Saturn-Jupiter conjunctions, we get to experience these waves where that energy gets stronger and then it dissipates, and it gets stronger and it dissipates. And it happens every time that spot, something happens around those degrees, 0, 1 degree. This moon is highlighting that energy. And you can go back to that video that I did in December of 2020, where I talked about the winter solstice and the Aquarian age, and how that was like the first big wave of Aquarian age energy coming through. And we've seen so much happen in the world since then. And a lot of what's happening is the theme of the people of the world, right? Like everyone. There's not a single person that's not included in what's happening in the world right now, both intellectually and physically and all of that. So that was something that I was just reminded to talk about, is that this is one of those waves, boom, Leo season, where the sun is at its strongest, which I wouldn't have it any other way, right? All right, here we go. Here's the Sabian symbol for 1 degree of Aquarius. A rebellious farm boy confined to his room by strict parents, Saturn, collects his pets, slips out the window, and escapes down the flooded river on a homemade raft. Pluto faces the darkness, goes and faces the darkness. A rebellious farm boy, confined to his room by strict parents, collects his pets, slips out the window, and escapes down the flooded river on a homemade raft. Very Aquarius, very, I'm getting the heck out of here because I don't want to stay and find out what happens. And I don't want to be confined. The Huck Finn degree, refusing to buy into the absurd and repressive worldview of one's surroundings. Let me repeat that. The Huck Finn degree, refusing to buy into the absurd and repressive worldview of one's surroundings. This is about unsocialized children of nature who follow their own course in life. This is about avoiding obstacles as easily as water flowing around a rock versus taking drastic action to break free of one's limitations. Refuse to relinquish the freedom natural to children and animals. Dodging people's games versus mischievously manipulating them by playing into their misconceptions. This is youthful oddballs who eventually connect with an audience to receive recognition for their contributions. This is the power of forgiveness to melt barriers between family, friends, family members, nationalities, races, or even species. This is about acts of kindness, Noah-like impulse to save the world, impulsive bids for freedom versus quietly thinking through one's options. Super interesting energy, very revolutionary, like I want to get out of my box, like do not confine me type of energy. And when we look at the Chandra symbol for this moon, we get the following. A woman strolling in a garden. She is unaware that she is being watched by elves. This is what this means. We adopt a split-screen mind when the outward frame of things seems so insistent that we must be reasonable and logical and make complete sense in a quantitative, functional way. But what happens is that the other side of our awareness, the outlawed side, gets very strong in the subconscious and stays alive. We can almost play off of it in emphasizing our skeptical or worldly approach to things. But there is a joke to it, for you are aware of what you are not aware of. You are tuned into the very things you deny. This kind of edge hones the mind and the soul. It teaches invaluable lessons, not the least of which is to make way for the unknown while hugging the known close to you, knowing all the while how profoundly the unknown beckons. I gotta read that one again. We adopt a split-screen mind when the outward frame of things seems so insistent that we must be reasonable and logical and make complete sense in a quantitative and functional way. But what happens is that the other side of our awareness, the outlawed side, gets very strong in the subconscious and stays alive. We can almost play it off of it in emphasizing our skeptical or worldly approach to things, but there is a joke to it. For you are aware of what you are not aware of. You are tuned into the very things you deny. This kind of edge hones the mind and the soul. It teaches invaluable lessons, not the least of which is to make way for the unknown while hugging the known close to you, knowing all the while how profoundly the unknown beckons. Dang, that is so intense. So, welcome to Leo season. That's all I gotta say. This is starting off with a bang. The unknown beckons. That's why I titled this video, The Unknown Beckons. All right, let's go through all of the signs. If you're an Aries, Sun, Moon, Venus, or Rising, let me know in the chats. For Aries, this full moon is going to be happening in your 11th house of friends and sharing your gifts with the world. So think of, where does the unknown beckon? Where on this journey that we're going on are you going to discover new things? In your house of friends and sharing your gifts with the world. For Taurus, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising, 10th house of career and life path. The unknown beckons you to learn new things about where you're going and how you are showing up for the world. This is the journey that we are on for the whole next 30 days. Gemini, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. This is a full moon that's happening in your 9th house of spiritual integration. The unknown beckons you on a new spiritual journey. What have you not discovered? What is left to be uncovered on your spiritual journey? Cancer, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. This is an 8th house transit, the house of death, change, and transformation. This is where the unknown really beckons and asks you to trust it while it guides you through the valley of the shadow of death. Leo, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. This is a 7th house transit, the house of relationships with romantic partners, business partnerships, relationships in general. Leo, this is also your season, so the sun is strong for you. Happy birthday, Leo! We're hitting the ground running to have a full moon right the date, and the next day sun moves into Leo is it's a little intense. It's like, here the moon's like, I'm gonna oppose you. I challenge you to a duel right off the bat. It's kind of intense, but where the unknown beckons for you is you're going to discover and uncover things you didn't know about your relationships. This is also where we're all going to see that higher perspective. Virgo, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. This is the 6th house of work and being in the present moment. What do you have yet to uncover about your daily life? And are you focusing on the details? Because the details will guide you straight to the unknown. Libra, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. This is a 5th house transit for you, meaning your creativity and your passion, also the house ruled by Leo. So that energy is strong for you. The unknown beckons you to discover new ways of being creative and new ways of activating your passion and your intuition and your instinct, and to get started on a whole new way of expressing yourself. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. This is a 4th house transit for you, aspecting the house of the home and family. So the unknown beckons you to discover things that you didn't know about your home and family. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. This is a 3rd house transit for you, happening in your house of communication, which is the house of channeling as well. So the unknown beckons you to understand yourself, to understand the messages, the light codes that you're receiving from the universe, and to then channel it through your throat chakra, through expressing yourself, speaking your truth, and sharing your voice. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. This is a second house transit, the house of money, values, self-esteem, groundedness, security. The unknown beckons to understand the way of making money, the way of abundance, and understand at a deeper level, are you secure in life? And what can you do to find more security? Aquarius, of course, this is a first house transit, Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising. This means that the moon is in your first house. This is about you. The unknown beckons you to discover who you really are and what you're really capable of. And last but not least, Pisces, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. This is a 12th house transit for you, the house of the divine, God, the Holy Spirit, your intuition, and the house of the hidden. So you will discover things that were truly hidden that are now coming to the surface, things that were hidden in your subconscious mind. So the unknown beckons you to find new things that you didn't know were there in the subconscious of your being. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Leo season. Tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, I will be going live and doing the full moon ceremony. Make sure to show up and be ready to explore a whole new way. And it's almost like a celebration of the beginning of Leo season. So thank you guys so much for being here today live. And also thank you for watching the replay. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Make sure that you get on my email list, because tomorrow I am announcing the starseed oils, the connection to the aliens. Aquarius, right? The star card in the tarot, the connection to our starseed families, to our starseed origins, the eagle and the condor that fly highest to the divine. This is the day that the starseed oils are coming out. I didn't plan it. It just happened, as usual. So thank you, Wendy, Valerie, Nelvin, Melissa, Alexandra, Jennifer, Joan, Lady Virgo. Thank you to everyone, Belinda, all the names I can see, Rebecca, Tamika. Love you guys, and I will see you all again tomorrow. Satnam.